It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the car.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenny Walker. Touchdown. Smarty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes.
Caught. Touchdown Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Good Tuesday morning to you. It is the 21st day of March 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports and Network. Danny Cahill, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. You can find us all individually on Twitter. Danny Cahill is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. Gentlemen, good morning to both of you. How are we on this Tuesday?
Great. Tuesday. Watched Monday Night Raw last night on the road to WrestleMania. 2 weeks away. I know you don't care, Anthony, but pretty pumped.
2 weeks until WrestleMania, huh?
2 weeks, yes. The March 30th, April 1st, through April 1st weekend or whatever it is.
Oh, okay. Where's it at this year?
Hollywood, as they say. They're going Hollywood.
Really?
Yes.
Is Hollywood Hulk Hogan going to be there? Oh, what you going to do, brother?
Yeah, he's made like one appearance since he made some like racist remarks, I think, at some point. I don't know exactly what it was, but yeah, he's made. They like reconciled, but he's only made.
How long ago? Like the ones he did 40 years ago.
No,
30
this
years
is
ago,
like
20 years ago.
I would say
10
this is
years
5
ago.
years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, these were about 5 years ago.
Hulkamania. I just picture him in those black NWO T-shirts, just absolutely juiced. Just
the
juiced.
steroid era was fun.
Was it?
I am a real American.
I mean, just arms
fight
like
for the rights of every man.
thighs.
Down, 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 down.
Scott Steiner.
Down.
The Steiners, one of their sons, just signed his letter of intent to play at Virginia, play football.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe Big Papa Pump's, son.
And he is deceased, correct?
No, they're both alive.
Both the Steiners are alive?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. I thought the one guy was dead.
No, I mean,
News to me.
He lost all his, jackedness, but no, he just looks like a normal person now.
Really? I'm going to have to Google search whatever, Big Papa Pump today just to see. And was he like an old wrinkly bag?
No, he just looks just like a former super jacked dude.
Is it Scott Steiner who wore like the Knights of Columbus medal gear on his head?
Yes.
I wanted one so bad as a child because it just looks so badass. It's just like, Mom, I want to look like this when I grow up. And then she's like, be better. Be a better person.
Why Knights of Columbus?
I don't know. That's just looked like he was getting ready for a battle in 1500s.
Looked like he was getting ready for a steak dinner on a Friday
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, and then go get a
You're
$1
right,
MGD at the Knights of Columbus.
Oh, man. Well, hopefully everybody's having a good time. What did you guys watch on television last night?
I watched a little bit of the World Baseball Classic semifinal.
Ooh, Japan.
Yeah, and then I also was watching the movie She Said. It's about the New York Times article on Harvey Weinstein, getting that put together.
Oh, boy.
So.
What was that on? Netflix?
Peacock.
You have Peacock, too?
Well, Peacock, you can have a free account and stream things.
Oh, really?
Yes. You don't have to pay for everything on there, so.
Oh, does it just come in with those, like, built-in ads, like you're in the middle of the show, and then all of a sudden it's just an abrupt stoppage for, like, mac and cheese?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So I'll deal with that.
Yeah, about 100%. Go ahead. Send me your mac and cheese ads. As long as I don't have to, as long as I don't have to do anything crazy.
Yeah,
like,
for the movie, I think I had to watch like 3 minutes of ads before the movie. And they're like, you can watch it ad-free now. It's like, sweet.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, send me those ads because I'm definitely getting up and walking away. Send them to me. I'll get up, walk away, come back, and be ready to go by the time the show starts. I think that's a brilliant idea. Who could possibly be mad with that? So we had a little WBC and some film. I watched my Toledo Rockets. By the time I got home from work, the second half was underway, and it was not good. I knew when I hopped in the car and I was listening to it, and Jim Heller, it was like 16 to like 10 or 11 or something. I'm like, okay, or close game.
Yes, Toledo was doubled up last night.
Ooh, man. Then it was 29-11 in the blink of an eye, and I said, well, it was a good season. It was a good try.
Do you know the final score? Because I say
80,
it's coming up on your
82 to 40,
94 to 47. They were literally doubled up.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was. It was tough there at the end for my Rockets. God bless them, but really good finish to the season. The crazy thing is on the women's side, because they had to make some changes and adjustments. And then there was the big discrepancy during the bubble about like the weight room and the meals and things of that nature. So what they've done is they have decided that if you are one of the top 16 seeds, you will host 3 teams at your venue, right? So the first and second round are played on campus sites. What does that do? Well, that cuts down on everybody's cost. So it's a cost-saving move. Plus, if you're on site, odds are you're probably going to have pretty good ticket sales. And if you saw that game last night at all between Toledo and Tennessee, that was a home game for Tennessee. That is a true road game. If you are Toledo, it's not neutral court at all. Like, that's a true road contest going down there to try to beat one of the best teams in the country. And I'm just very happy, very proud of that team. A program record best 29 wins for them. So go Rockets. Trisha Cullop is one of the, as I always say, one of the greatest people on the planet. Just the salt of the earth, and obviously you'd like to see them continue on, make a Sweet 16 bid, and run past Tennessee. But that was quite the tall task last night. So that's where I was at. And then it was Red Wings hockey after that. So just getting bludgeoned last night.
That wasn't much hockey anyway.
It was cool for a minute. I mean, it was, they got it close for a second. I don't get it. I don't get this team at all. But the good news is they're 30-30-9. So if you keep track of the Red Wings like I do, they're 30-39. That's the way that it is. The Pew Suter got it to 2-1 at the end of the first. You feel like you're building a little momentum, and then it's 3-1 at the end of the second. And then, so we could talk a little bit more about that Red Wings game and that meltdown that they had there in the third period. The WBC, lots to get to here in hour number 1. Don't go anywhere. Stay locked to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Spring is here, and that means only one thing for us Tigers fans. Baseball season is upon us, and opening day is just a few weeks away. Hi, this is Matt Shepard, here to tell you about an amazing offer from my friends at Soaring Eagle Casino. Soaring Eagle Casino, in conjunction with the Michigan Sports Network, is going to send one lucky winner and a guest to Tigers opening day. And if that's not enough, Eagle Sports and Casino is going to double down for you. How about 2 opening days? That's right, opening day home and away. You'll see the Tigers open the season against the Rays in sunny, warm Tampa, Florida, and then you'll be there for the Tigers home opener in Detroit 1 week later. Plus, you'll be hosted by my friend Bill Simonson of The Huge Show, and you'll get to meet and greet yours truly. All you need to do is enter and text the word Tigers to 21000. Enter the word Tigers and text the number 21000, and you could be on your way to see the Tigers play in both the season and home openers. Opening day, home and away, presented by my friends at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Go get them. Play ball.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Suter up along with Wallman, who has it. Red Wings back at full strength. Perron, who is serving the penalty out of the box. Right on a goal. Oh, he couldn't bury it. They score. Suter. Huge goal. That could be a huge turning point.
Could have been a huge turning point. It didn't work out that way, but it would have been great had it been a huge turning point. Nothing like getting a good break out of the box coming out of a penalty. That's what you like to see. That's what you like to see. You know what I find is very interesting, I'm just sharing my thought here, is that when working the Red Wings games, when the opposing team is in the penalty box and the opposing team gets back to full strength, they don't say anything. Like there's nothing. Like there's no, Florida's back at full strength. Like nothing at all. Like, yeah, we don't do that here. And I'm like, well, why not? I'm like, well, why would you celebrate? It's like, it's not so much celebration as it is, hey, everybody on the ice, time's up. The guy's coming out of the box. Look out for this dude. Because this is what happens. You get possession of the puck late in the penalty. The guy breaks out of the box like he's just been cherry picking the whole time, and it leads to an opportunity and a scoring chance, and in this case, a goal for the Red Wings. But you say when the Red Wings go back at full strength, I think it's because it's sponsored. I think. I can't remember now. There was a tagline.
Yeah, but if the other thing isn't sponsored, that doesn't mean you can't say it.
That's my point. I'm like, yo, you should definitely be warning everybody out there, like, hey, these guys, this dude's coming out of the box here in a minute. Here he comes. Don't let the puck get to the middle of the ice and give up an odd man rush going the other way. Somebody should look for him, but I don't know. What do I know? Not much. The Red Wings lose 5-2 in this game last night. Dylan Larkin got his 26th of the season. That was in the third period. That made it 3-2, but Eric Stahl, just an absolute beam, and then that was it. There's not a whole lot you could really do. Another tough outing for the Detroit Red Wings, who find themselves in a very, very disappointing position considering where they were at a few weeks ago going into that series against Ottawa. And I can't help but go back to it in my mind and just think, like, look, those couple games against the Senators, had they won both of those and done those in a form or fashion, that would have looked like, hey, this team's really got it together, instead of allowing those to be losses 2 and 3 in a row on their way to dropping 6 consecutive. Maybe things would be a little bit different. But at the end of the day, it's another Detroit team that's looking forward to the draft. I've tried to hold out hope because, yes, they are not mathematically eliminated, or they weren't as of last night. They still, I don't believe, are technically eliminated, but there's just no way. I'll just call it what it is. The Florida Panthers, the team that they played last night, have a 10-point advantage. If you were even going to think about going on some sort of crazy run over the course of the next 13 or so games, that was going to have to be it. They didn't do it. They're a minus 26 in goal differential. Like, it's just tough, man. It's been a very tough season for this Detroit team that has had some ups and some downs. They've been a little bit of a roller coaster. Derek Lalonde's first year, then obviously once the trade deadline hit and Stevie Y decided to sell, that was kind of like your answer to how this season was going to go. So I was hoping for, maybe there would be a little bit more success, just from a roster standpoint for Derek's sake, but I don't see that. I don't see that happening, or that hasn't happened. So now we find ourselves in a position where, is Derek Lalonde going to be dealing with the same exact thing that Jeff Blashill was dealing with, and that's constant tweaks to the roster, rebuilding, a lot of young guys. We'll have to wait and see how this whole thing plays out. I hate saying it.
I know. Now it's now we are in the, is Stevie going to wait for these, I believe it's 8 of the top 100 prospects or something they have. Are we waiting on those guys, or are we buying in the offseason?
Well, and I think that he once I think he gave a hint relatively recently when he had said something along the lines of, the best players in our league, they're not leaving, via free agency. No team is going to really let them walk, if you will. So there's only one way to really acquire guys like that, and it's through the draft. I mean, that's where you have to be. You have to be strong, and you have to show your patience, and you have to wait. And if there was something else, like if half of our teams were decent, if it wasn't just the Lions that carry us through the fall, if the Pistons were good, or if the Tigers were good, or I think it would help mitigate the circumstance a little bit. But because only one of our 4 teams is worth a damn, that makes things a little bit difficult. I think that's what makes the wait a little bit longer, because we know, and especially after this season. Right after this past season with the Lions, it's like, man, we can't wait to get back to Lions football. How great is that going to be? It's going to be sensational. Like, we're excited about a football team in March, and we're not excited about the draft. You could be excited about the draft. That's totally fine, but we're like legitimately building a team here. People are excited about the games. That usually doesn't happen. Usually it's all about, this pick could change our future. Like, no, who are we adding? Let's make a playoff push right now. But once football season's over, man, thank God for college basketball and something else, because this has been an absolute disaster. Just a disaster as far as how this team has, how these cities teams have performed. Between the Red Wings and the Pistons. The Pistons can't win one on accident, and the Red Wings were this close. But they're not, they don't like those top-end guys. They just, maybe it's Raymond, maybe it's Sider. We'll see with Edmondson. You gave $8 million to Larkin, but they still don't have that guy. They still don't have the Connor McDavids of the world. They don't have that dude. We don't. So we'll see. We'll see if Stevie Y can pull it together. But it's a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of time. It's not going to be easy. They're going to have to build through the draft. That's where it's going to have to take place. You had some good supplemental free agents like they did this offseason. I think that was part of it too. I think that because of some of the acquisitions that they made this offseason, it led you to believe that this year was going to be different. And some of those guys have performed really well. Some of those guys have been okay. And that's basically been it.
Yeah, it's basically been a slow year for the rookies. We had, the sophomores, the Raymond and Sider.
The old sophomore slump.
They're playing okay, and there really wasn't a guy that stepped up and was. Jake Wallman has been awesome. Pew Suter has been pretty good. Philip Hronik was great until he got traded. But, they're waiting on a 50-goal scorer. That's what they need. They got to get a guy that can put the biscuit in the basket.
Please, tickle the twine, for the love of God. All right, we're going to step aside. When we return, the WBC is taking place. I don't know if you watched any of what happened last night. Good for Shohei Ohtani being able to play some meaningful baseball. That's always fun. The ratings have been booming, but what about Mets fans? And what about these players and the risk that exists there? I don't know. We got ourselves a little bit of a toss-up here. Let's talk about it next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! No, first base!
Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street, you're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
You're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Can't call in? Text us using the keyword sports radio and send it to 21000 or tweet us at XB Mornings. Now back to Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, and Anthony Bellino.
Is hit to left center field. Hit very well, and it is off the wall. Ohtani flying around third, right behind him, scoring the winning run. It's a walk-off. Japan will play for the championship.
That's the sound of the game last night. Japan beats Mexico 6-5. Oh my goodness, in dramatic fashion, which means tonight, USA versus Japan. I believe for all the marbles, if I'm not mistaken. This is it. The World Baseball Classic. It's a lot of fun, huh? And the USA advancing a couple days ago, beating Cuba 14-2 after putting up 9 runs on Venezuela. Beating Colombia 3-2. Pounded Canada 12-1 after losing to Mexico 11-5. Japan, they've won their last 5, beating Mexico 6-5 last night. They beat Italy 9-3, Australia 7-1. I can't believe the Czech even play baseball, but they beat them 10-2, in Korea 13-4. Have you guys been entertained by the World Baseball Classic? I do think it's kind of fun that Shohei Ohtani gets to play some meaningful baseball. That's kind of exciting, right? Exciting for him, at least.
Yeah, where's your boys at?
Which ones?
I don't see your Puerto Rico, your Dominican Republic. It's USA Japan for the final.
Yeah, really, that was sad right there. That was tough.
I like the World Baseball Classic, and I am happy that it's run how it is ran, with the different sections, these 4, the pools go to this place, and then we all meet at the end. But it also doesn't really create any intimacy with the tournament. The World Cup, they're all there. They're in the stands before the games watching, stuff like that. You don't have that with the World Baseball Classic. Some teams, I don't exactly know what the pools were, but some teams are coming from Europe and they're playing in Arizona versus when everybody is in say a 4-stadium section in one town. Obviously you can't do that with you can't just pop up 4 baseball stadiums,
but they could have done they could have done it World Cup style, where maybe Houston was the final site, but you played in Phoenix, you played in LA, there's stadiums, you played at the Texas Rangers, the Houston Astros, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the LA Dodgers all played host to the WBC, and you could have put them in, they could have put their pool play into pods like that. That would have been kind of cool.
I think it's awesome. I wish, who was it? Was it Max Scherzer perhaps was saying maybe do it in the middle of the season? Just, it doesn't seem like there's that much hype until near the end of the pool play, the deciding game of the pool play. Then everybody's like, ooh, let's watch. It's not like, people are watching the first game at 6 a.m. or whatever on a Monday.
I mean, we were.
We did, but nobody else
We were watching Japan, Korea at 6 a.m. on FS2.
Right, so could you do it mid-season? Because then you go back to, what took place with the Mets closer. Now his name is
Edwin Diaz.
Edwin Diaz. Sugar. Like then you look at it from that perspective, and it's like, okay, so is this something that we want to do? Is every general manager in Major League Baseball, throughout the course of this tournament, watching closely while holding their breath and pulling their hair out? Because there's no Major League Baseball benefit to this. It doesn't carry the same weight as the World Cup. Like if you were if your team won the WBC, I don't know if you make the Baseball Hall of Fame that they list your WBC accomplishments on your plaque. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I think
not yet.
Every league is looking for.
It's a growing tournament, so next 30 years, those things might start popping up.
Maybe, but I think everybody's looking for, like, trying to do something more, trying to do something else. Hey, look, this worked. If Edwin Diaz had to sacrifice his knee so that, the Japanese team, they had a 9-3 win in the quarterfinal over Italy in Tokyo. It was reportedly watched by 48% of all Japanese households, which is a higher number than what the Super Bowl drew in the U.S. this year for Fox. That's what we're looking at right now. We are looking at TV ratings in Japan higher than the Super Bowl to watch a quarterfinal game. So we can tab this as a meaningless exhibition, but as long as there are eyeballs on the screen, they are going to continue to pump this all over the place.
Right.
They're going to want all of that.
And it's hitting all the other countries except the U.S. just because we have March Madness going on right now. Like, we're not in baseball mode yet as a sports fan. So your diehard fans will watch it. Dan and I have been tuning into games. I've been trying to turn it on some sort of screen at night because the USA has been playing at 7 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And for what Dan said of like, oh, do we play in the season? Nolan Arenado brought it up too. He goes, we could try, but it's like we're going to run into an issue no matter where we schedule it. Because do we try to take 2 weeks off in the middle of a season? Like right now we're all doing spring training. Like, are we really ready for this high-intensity tournament? Like, there's no great time to play this.
That's right. That's absolutely
like, it's just
right.
hard. It's just hard, and we just got to do it. So whenever it's scheduled, like, we'll play. And that's the only thing that's going to be hard to schedule this. It's at the position players. It's the pitchers. Because look who's starting for the U.S. tonight. Merrill Kelly.
Gas.
Yeah. Do you have any idea who Merrill Kelly is, Anthony?
I know who Merrill Hodge is.
Right. I know who Merrill Kelly is because I'm a sicko.
I knew Merrill was the name of the guy that Joaquin Phoenix played in the movie Signs.
Yeah.
Swing away, Merrill.
There we go.
Wow. Good.
I was about to say, killing some aliens with some bats.
Hey, I leave water all over my house too. You never know when an alien's going to attack, and they don't like water. So it's just it's a great film, by the way.
Sugar water.
Sugar. Oh, that's
Men in Black.
Men in Black. Water.
Boom.
Sugar. Any other alien movies you need to reference right now?
Sigourney Weaver.
Ooh, the Alien. Great. Prometheus. Did you guys see Prometheus?
Prometheus and Bob?
No. The actual film Prometheus.
No.
It is dude, you got to look that up on Netflix. There's a homework assignment.
Look up Prometheus and Bob for me.
I might.
Don't. It's an old Nickelodeon cartoon short where an alien traveled back in time and made friends with a caveman named Bob.
Gotcha. Prometheus, the film, is how the alien came about. The alien from Sigourney Weaver's film Alien. Really incredibly well done. Like it's one of those you get to the end of it and you're like, wow. You know what I mean? It's just the graphics, the visuals, incredible. All right, so back to aliens out here on the baseball diamond. 61% of televisions in Puerto Rico were tuned in to the World Baseball Classic game, this was like the Super Bowl rivalry here between the PR and the DR. 61%. And of course, the guys like meaningless, my bleep, and okay. All right. First round attendance, over 1 million, up 98% from the previous record. USA versus Mexico is the most attended first round game ever. I'm not going to go the Ben Verlander route and say that the World Baseball Classic is officially one of the world's biggest tournaments, but they're putting the numbers out there. You know, Pool D was in Miami at Lone Depot Park, set a record for the most attended World Baseball Classic round ever in the United States. They drew just shy of 300,000 people.
Smart for what they did for that Miami pool, because it was Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic.
They thought that out. That was good.
They were smart. They're not dumb. And Ben Verlander might be right. It could be one of the biggest world tournaments. Granted, it's not going to touch the World Cup, but when you think of, okay, what's the second biggest world tournament? Who else is putting numbers up like that?
Oh, do you want to know?
I do want to know.
You're not going to believe me when I say it.
The rugby?
No.
Rugby sevens?
Cricket.
Okay, that makes sense too.
Cricket.
I'll believe you on that.
Is that not crazy? If you have India and Pakistan, I was telling Coach Barlow this. If you have India and Pakistan playing cricket, dude, those folks will watch the absolute hell out. You're talking billions of viewers.
Yeah, you just got to understand what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
I know. Is that a Ninja Turtles reference?
Yes.
Oh, man, we're all over the map today, but I love it. Is it meaningless? I don't think that it is. I don't know if the guys like to play in it. I mean, we definitely need to see
the
players. Best.
The players love it. I mean, the thing made its rounds to the Puerto Rico team, Dominican Republic team. They're like, this is everything we wanted to do. And Randy Arozarena playing for Mexico. I read his story on what it means for him to play for Mexico. He is from Cuba. His first month playing professional baseball, he made $4 a month. Then made $38 a month and was the moneymaker in his family. Got signed to a league in Mexico, defected from Cuba, and because of that, he was able to sign in the major leagues. Now all his family lives in Mexico.
Did you see that sick-ass catch he made last night? But Anthony, go back and watch the catch.
But I saw it.
But to hear him talk about what it meant, because he had to plead to the president of Mexico to grant him citizenship to play for Mexico. For what it means for him to play for that country, it means a lot to these players.
For the record, Arozarena is just 28 years old. He was born in 1995. And you said what, $38 a day as the money man in Cuba? $38 a month. I'm sorry.
$38 a month, and he was making more than his mother.
$38 a month. This is where we don't understand at all how good we have it here. We don't get it. Collectively as a society, we can't understand why the Wi-Fi doesn't work. You know what I mean? We have no idea what hardship looks like to the rest of the world. We don't know, we don't have dirt floors with sheet metal roofs. Where do you see that at? You might be like, well, we have homeless people. Are you homeless? Do you get what I'm saying? When you see poverty at that level, to where $38 a month. We got in this conversation with this guy a few years back when we were in the Dominican. He was working at the resort. And, even if you're going to an all-inclusive, carry small bills on you. Tip people. What's $5 to you? $5 to you means nothing. You can now tell, put it in perspective. This guy made $38 a month. If you tip somebody $5, especially if you do it on day one, you're going to have by far the best service of your life. Whoever your waiter is for breakfast, he will look for you every day. He will save you a table. If you need hangover soup, he will bring it to you. It's not even on the menu. Don't worry, they make it in the back. You are going to get because they realize, they know, like, okay, this person, like, yes, these people that came here to enjoy our country, to visit this resort, that once we clock out, we got to get on a bus and get the hell out of here. Like, that's just, that's the reality of the situation. $38 a month. Right? And we're dealing right now with people that don't want to work. Like, I've tried to come up. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to have to go international to find some employees. People just don't want to work. Then they get there and they want to get paid for showing up. Like, you haven't, what have you done besides the bare minimum of just show up? You're on the schedule. Congratulations. You made it here. Now what are you doing? Like, does the boss have to walk around and tell you what to do every second of the day? Like, if you got time to lean, you got time to clean. Jeez Louise. You know, the other interesting thing that I've noticed, where are all the young men at? Where are they? Are they all busy playing sports right now? It seems to be like the common, like, oh, I have, this practice, that practice. It seems like sports are the big. You're not going pro, and you're going to learn way more about life punching that time clock than you are screwing around doing whatever the hell else you're like. I don't know, man. I am flabbergasted at the fact that it's only the young women that want to work. Where are all the young men at? What are they doing? If you got some, send them my way.
They're playing you on Call of Duty.
Apparently so. Bunch of nerds. Anyways, Randy Rosary, great story. Defected, got to play for Mexico. Cuba's in this tournament, by the way. How do you think those players feel? If you're Cuban, you're playing these guys, and you're watching Francisco Lindor, for example, born on an island just a little bit east. It's a little bit smaller island. And this dude's walking, running the bases with a 12-pound gold chain bouncing off his chest. Like, how do you think? Like, what do you think how that makes them feel? Knowing that, dude, they're on the world stage right now. All I got to do is have a good tournament, and that could change my life. You imagine that pressure? I mean, the Tigers signed a closer from Nicaragua, a 21-year-old, because he struck out the side, got him on a minor league deal. That's going to change his life.
So he struck out 3 big leaguers.
That's it. One good inning, half inning.
It's like, hey, our guys couldn't do that. Sign them up.
So are you available next week? What
are your plans March 30th?
What do we need for visas?
You want to stay in Florida?
Who you want to bring with you? Like, how else what else do we need to put in this contract? It's like when Fedorov first came over. He wanted the Corvette, and he wanted to live in that tower on the Detroit River right there by the Joe. Like, yeah, Corvette and a penthouse. Sure. Anything else? Piece of cake. We got that. Well, congratulations to all the folks, and really good to see Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout finally play for something. So for those two guys right there,
this will go in their Hall of Fame career.
It absolutely should. See,
it's going to be the only championship they'll play for.
Oh, my goodness. Who wins tonight? USA?
Yeah, USA looking for back-to-back WBC titles.
World Baseball Classic. And that's why, GMs just kind of hold on. Maybe there's a better place to put it. I don't know, but it's a pretty good start. Pretty good opener. Pretty good appetizer for the upcoming 2023 MLB season. We'll step aside. Hour number 2 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean Carter. Now, they've made that move to partner with Dorn Mayhew, an Eastside firm, and now they're stronger than ever before. Big businesses, small businesses, taxes, any business need you have. You can turn to Tom Rosenbach and his team. Just go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. Tom and his team also put up the $1,000 in cash in our Bracket Buster Challenge contest at thehugeshow.net. So if you entered the contest, you can follow your picks all the way through the championship game each and every day at thehugeshow.net. Just log in, you'll see it. It's simple and easy, and follow your picks if you took a shot at winning that $1,000 in the Bean Carter Bracket Buster Challenge. Follow your picks through the championship game at thehugeshow.net. That's thehugeshow.net.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for all the Mr. Car Wash locations. I think there's close to 30 across the Huge Radio Network. For the one close to you, go to MrCarWash.com, and there you can join their Unlimited Wash Club. Now, this is a quick and convenient way to keep your car shining all the time. It's everything you love about getting your car washed in a simple, easy-to-use, affordable plan. As an Unlimited Wash Club member, you will enjoy all the benefits of washing as often as you like, no long-term contract, convenient monthly billing, and now you can be rest assured with a contactless visit. So go to MrCarWash.com right now, sign up for their Unlimited Wash Club Pass, and that means you can get your car washed at any Mr. Car Wash location across the Huge Radio Network or anywhere in America. And for the location close to you across the Huge Radio Network, you can also log on to MrCarWash.com.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FreddyThePizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email FreddyThePizzaman@gmail.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here. Hour number 2 on this Tuesday, the 21st day of March, 2023. We welcome you here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalin, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio. Send that to 21,000, sports radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. We're on Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros, and, of course, good morning to our television audience as well. BCSN and streaming live on our YouTube page at Michigan Sports Network. Add a .com to that to find our website. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox. And find us individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalin is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. What's going on in the world of sports? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
Nah, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
All right, huge news. Japan advances in the World Baseball Classic. They will see Team USA tonight. It'll be Trout versus Otani. That's very exciting. 7 o'clock first pitch over on FS1. You're interested in that, which I am for tonight. You might get a little bit back from me at least paying attention to what's going on in that ball game. Alabama freshman defensive back Tony Mitchell has been charged with possession of marijuana with an intent to sell and or deliver, according to Holmes County. That's in Florida, their sheriff's department. Mitchell, a former 4-star prospect and the ESPN Top 100 player, was driving a vehicle when he was stopped by police on Wednesday. This report here has some massive omissions. The deputies smelled the odor of burnt marijuana coming from the vehicle. He was driving over 140 miles an hour. He had 226 grams of weed on him and a loaded handgun. The passenger, identified as Christopher Lewis, was charged with possession of marijuana with intent to sell and deliver, as well as carrying a concealed firearm without a permit. Asked if there was marijuana in the vehicle, Mitchell allegedly produced a bag from the passenger floorboard. Well, your career is probably over. I know Saban's the guy that said, why would you kick him out? It's the kind of kid you got to put your arm around. Like, dude, you're going to Alabama on a full ride. What are you doing? Like, at what point are we just going to say enough's enough? Like, you know the difference between right and wrong. I mean, how much, like, what else do we need to do to provide? What else we got to do? You got transfer portal, you got NIL, you got free meals, you got free food, you got free education. What more could you possibly ask for? I mean, geez Louise. Not to mention all the benefits that come with being a Division I athlete.
Then with what's going on in the basketball program, who knows if Saban really had the final say on that one, or if someone just came in and said, you know what, we're done with this.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the NCAA needs to put, like, I don't know. Maybe they need to get involved. Not sure.
Do what?
Well, I mean, if you take a gun charge, you forfeit your eligibility for NCAA competition. Boom, done. Problem solved. Here's the deal. For the 100 millionth, trillionth time, let's explain this to you we'll go real slow for you. here's the deal. These are the rules you're going to play by. And the biggest rule is just being a contributing citizen. Like, don't be a criminal. That's all we ask. Really, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard to not choose crime. For whatever reason, we just want to make every excuse in the world. Like, oh, you don't understand. You don't know. No, we know. Full ride. Coughed it up. See ya. Magic Johnson has joined a group that's bidding to buy the Commanders. The Basketball Hall of Famer and part owner of the LA Dodgers was part of the Harris Group when it failed to land the Denver Broncos last summer. Harris also owns the NBA's Philadelphia 76ers, the NHL's New Jersey Devils, and is now looking at possibly the Commandos. Frank Reich said that the Panthers won't let height rule out Bryce Young, could be one of the smallest quarterbacks in NFL history. First time he's spoken publicly since Carolina traded with Chicago for the top pick. He quickly emphasized that he had a very high grade on Russell Wilson back in 2012. Wilson obviously got a Super Bowl with the Seahawks, reached another, Pro Bowl 9 times. He's 5'11", and the average height of the NFL quarterback is 6'3". So will height play a role in Bryce Young's drafting? NFL owners are expected to finalize an extension for Roger Goodell. The commish framework is not yet known, but it's expected to be pretty hefty. Pretty hefty there for Roger Goodell. I mean, Goodell's helped finalize a CBA that has brought in labor peace, a new $100 billion plus media rights deal with CBS, NBC, Fox, ESPN, Amazon. The NFL is the king, and Roger Goodell has done a really good job. And they just continue to survive any and all controversy somehow, some way. Our running back Damian Harris has reached a one-year deal with the Buffalo Bills. Former Detroit Lions defensive back Mike Hughes is going to sign with the Atlanta Falcons. The Warriors halt their 11-game road losing streak, second longest by a defending champ. Congratulations to them. They got to play the Houston Rockets, so that's pretty easy. 121-108 was your final score there. Did either of you see what was going on with Julius Randle at the end of the third quarter for the New York Knicks? Dude had 52 at the end of three quarters and then only scored 5 points in the fourth quarter, scoring 57. The Knicks lose to the T-Wolves 140-134 inside the Garden. All he needed was 63 to set the new franchise record. All he needed was 11 points. He scored 5. Poor guy. And Evander Kane's second hat trick of the season, fueling the Oilers to another victory. Edmonton, 6-4 victory on Saturday night over the Kraken. For Kane, this is his sixth career hat trick, second of the season. My question is this. When are, in Evander Kane kind of, I don't know, is he kind of sort of like forgotten about, like last man out because of what they have in Draisaitl and what they have in Connor McDavid? That you just forget about Evander Kane. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to be able to forget about a guy with his talent level and skill level. Maybe that'll happen one day for the Red Wings. All right, we're going to step aside. When we return, we'll do a little Detroit Lions trivia. The coach, Kyle Barlow, is going to join us. He's been a part of these upsets in March Madness, right? And after all the brackets were busted, after day number 2, right, he's seen it. He's been Ohio beating Virginia. That's happened before, you know. And to live in this realm, to coach in it, and then to be able to share some of that. Plus, what matchup is he looking forward to the most? We'll talk about Tom Izzo's long reign of terror. What else did I just see on Tom Izzo? An incredible stat. It was the most wins as a worst seed in NCAA tournament history. And I believe, I'm going to try to find this real quick.
Yeah, he has 16. He just passed
you know this.
Jim Boeheim, who had 15.
Wow. 16 wins as a worst seed in the NCAA tournament. Simply incredible. Spartan fans, man, what a time to be alive, as they like to say. Because that is it's pretty impressive. And one last little tidbit for you. Fanatics is going to be replacing Adidas as the NHL's official uniform partner. I didn't know that Fanatics actually made gear.
This is their first. Well, they make tons of gear, but this is their first, like, actual will be worn on the field of play. Let's say, like, because they have made the NHL championship hats for years. That if you actually look at the promo that Fanatics put out, you can see all the stuff that they've been integrating over the years to finally get this.
Wow. So they're gonna make a run. All right. Good for Fanatics. We'll see what kind of jerseys they come out with. Hopefully no more reverse retros or any of that nonsense. We'll step aside. Back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Spring is here, and that means only one thing for us Tigers fans. Baseball season is upon us, and opening day is just a few weeks away. Hi, this is Matt Shepard, here to tell you about an amazing offer from my friends at Soaring Eagle Casino. Soaring Eagle Casino, in conjunction with the Michigan Sports Network, is going to send one lucky winner and a guest to Tigers opening day. And if that's not enough, Eagle Sports and Casino is going to double down for you. How about 2 opening days? That's right, opening day home and away. You'll see the Tigers open the season against the Rays in sunny, warm Tampa, Florida, and then you'll be there for the Tigers home opener in Detroit 1 week later. Plus, you'll be hosted by my friend Bill Simonson of The Huge Show, and you'll get to meet and greet yours truly. All you need to do is enter and text the word Tigers to 21000. Enter the word Tigers and text the number 21000, and you could be on your way to see the Tigers play in both the season and home openers. Opening day, home and away, presented by my friends at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Go get them. Play ball.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean Carter. Now, they've made that move to partner with Dorn Mayhew, an East Side firm, and now they're stronger than ever before. Big businesses, small businesses, taxes, any business need you have. You can turn to Tom Rosenbach and his team. Just go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. Tom and his team also put up the $1,000 in cash in our Bracket Buster Challenge contest at thehugeshow.net. So if you entered the contest, you can follow your picks all the way through the championship game each and every day at thehugeshow.net. Just log in, you'll see it. It's simple and easy, and follow your picks if you took a shot at winning that $1,000 in the Bean Carter Bracket Buster Challenge. Follow your picks through the championship game at thehugeshow.net. That's thehugeshow.net.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. Great song. It is hour 2. It is segment 2, which means it's time for little Detroit Lions trivia. Pew, 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 pew. All right, this is a tough one. You're either going to know for some crazy reason, or you're just going to have to throw a dart at the wall and see if you hit. Pro Bowl quarterback Greg Landry made 84 starts for the Lions between 1968 and 78. Wore what uniform number? What number was Greg Landry when he played for the Lions?
13.
Not a bad guess. However, I have to play sad trumpet.
So, what are the years again he played?
He played. Good question. 1968 to 1978.
24.
Ooh. Dano was pretty close. The correct answer is 11. Greg Landry wore 11. I'm sure one of our listeners somewhere, maybe up north, Andy might have known the answer to that.
What number did Mike McMahon wear?
9.
9.
Right?
No, it was 8.
8. Yeah.
Oh. So, boom.
Joey Harrington was 3.
I still have
Scott Mitchell was
Joey Harrington jersey on
13?
one of my mom's Halloween
19.
decorations.
19. You have Joey Harrington Halloween decorations?
Yeah, it's been on there since.
Because this is terrifying.
It's, I mean, legitimately.
Scary hours for the Lions franchise?
Yes. It's been on this my mom's front yard Halloween decoration since he left the Lions, probably.
Dude, a scarecrow with a Harrington jersey.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I love that. All right, so I got to get to this article. This was sent, I saw Ryan put up on the screen. This was actually sent in the group chat that it added me back to for God knows what reason, just so I could give unfiltered commentary on this. Antoine Davis of Detroit Mercy felt cheated out of a shot at topping Pete Maravich's record. From Larry Lage, the AP, or Patrick Andres from Sports Illustrated, wherever you want to read it. The legendary Pistol Pete is number one with 3,667 points in 3 years from 1968 to 1970. Behind him, Detroit guard Antoine Davis, 3,664 points in 5 years from 2019 to 2023. Despite what the Detroit News described as a very public flirtation, Detroit stayed home after a 14-19 season out of the CBI. Davis is upset, telling the Associated Press, quote, "I'm upset about it. I feel like I got cheated out of something that they can't ever give back to me. I think it's selfish and weird that people emailed or called the CBI to say we shouldn't be in the tournament because they didn't want me to break the record."
See, now he's changing his tone after he probably heard about people calling and complaining, because if you read his tweets, in the days following the season, the few days, he was super gracious, loved my time at U of D. It was an honor to chase the record. And now it's, feel bad for me.
I had the opportunity to do it in the Youngstown game, referencing the Titans season finale against the Penguins in the quarterfinals of the Horizon League tournament. The quarterfinals of the Horizon League tournament, not semifinals or finals. You could have got more games, but you lost. I can't be mad about it. I just don't get why people would go out of their way to say we shouldn't have an opportunity. Because you're 14-19, man. In the Horizon League. Like, at what point are we, like, when is enough enough? And maybe this is because I'm a little old man getting ready to just yell at Cloud right now. And I get it. He's a local guy. Fun story. Dude, you did, like, come on. What are you doing? You look terrible right now. You look awful. This is you should have just went out and just, your dad's the coach. You have unlimited playing time. You get unlimited shots. and you played for 5 years with a three-point line. And all you did was shoot. If you were worried about winning games, maybe we make more basketball-related plays. If you're worried about winning games, maybe Detroit becomes a little bit more attractive because of what you're able to do. You could bail a guy out because you're a good shooter. You can knock it down. But what are we doing? Like, if all you want to do is go out there and score points, great. You're 14-19. You don't deserve to be in anything. You're 5 games under 500. You couldn't get out of the quarterfinals against Youngstown State in the Horizon League. Now you're going to cry because it's weird. That's what kids say now. Everything's weird.
And it's not he's not a local guy. Like, yeah, he did it here. He came here as a transfer because his dad was the coach. If he went to Fordson, everybody in town would have been calling the CBI saying, you better take this team.
No.
Yes, they would.
No, it's the CBI. It shouldn't even exist.
I don't disagree with that.
It shouldn't even exist. I've worked CBI games. It's garbage. It's garbage. Don't even take the invite. Same with the CIT, the College Insiders. Is that even a real thing? The CIT even exist anymore?
No, that last was played in 2019.
Thank God that's over.
And the CBI kind of took over the CIT.
Dude, how many tournaments because
there's just 3 postseason tournaments.
There's just 3 now, not 4.
Yes.
Because it's not the kids that have changed, folks. It's the parents. Because everybody needs to play in the postseason. Everybody gets in. Those games aren't drawing any numbers on TV. Get out of here. Put on CBS Sports Network Plus. What an absolute no, absolutely not. I don't want to play in the CBI, the CIT, or anything else. If you're a mid-major school and you make the NIT, great. If you're a high-major school and you make the NIT, you failed. Your season was a disappointment. That's the way it goes. It is what it is. Like, it's all based on where you go and your expectation. But don't come at me when you play low-major basketball and talking to me about a scoring record. Like, please stop. Then I saw the debate turn into, it's crazy, all these white men wanted to protect Pistol. No, it has nothing to do with Pistol Pete being white. We wouldn't even be talking about this record. I didn't even know Pistol Pete owned the record until Antoine Davis got close to it. I had no idea. It does not matter to me. Pistol Pete was purple. I don't care. Guess who owns the NBA's all-time scoring record? All right. Guess who owns the NBA all-time scoring record? LeBron. Do it in the league. Like, come on, man. Stop it. Right now. Talking about we didn't get a chance. You had plenty of opportunities. You should be mad at your teammates.
You had 5 years to do it.
You had 5 years
to get 3 more points, and it's like maybe you don't go 4 of 17 shooting in your final game.
It's just such a god awful terrible look. I'm sorry, but we're not weird. You're weird, bruv. You're the weird one. You think it's selfish? You take 30 plus shots a game, and you think we're being selfish? You think we're weird because you don't even belong in the conversation? Stop. Stop it right now. More college basketball. We are going to talk to the coach, Kyle Barlow. He will join us all things March Madness next year on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean Carter. Now, they've made that move to partner with Dorn Mayhew, an East Side firm, and now they're stronger than ever before. Big businesses, small businesses, taxes, any business need you have. You can turn to Tom Rosenbach and his team. Just go to beangarter.com. That is BEENEGARTER.com. Tom and his team also put up the $1,000 in cash in our Bracket Buster Challenge contest at thehugeshow.net. So if you entered the contest, you can follow your picks all the way through the championship game each and every day at thehugeshow.net. Just log in, you'll see it. It's simple and easy, and follow your picks if you took a shot at winning that $1,000 in the Bean Carter Bracket Buster Challenge. Follow your picks to the championship game at thehugeshow.net. That's thehugeshow.net.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! No, first base!
Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Is there a better theme song in sports this time of year? I don't know. What a tournament it has been. When you hear the CBS March Madness chiming in, it gets the blood pumping. It breaks your bracket in half. Throw it in the shredder this year, folks. We got to get to the bottom of this. Why are we seeing the things that we are seeing? Let's go to somebody who's coached these games, who knows what it's like to be the underdog and throw out the upset. He did his GA years under John Beeline at the University of Michigan. He is a Concordia alum, and now he's coaching the Ohio Bobcats at the Ohio University. Our good buddy, the coach, Kyle Barlow. Coach Barlow, I mean, is that like Christmas music to a child right there?
Oh, man, it's the best. It gets you thinking about all those memories, man. It's definitely the best. And, we beat Virginia before it was trendy, So now,
look at him go.
Now we got the videos of Stan Van Gundy and Kevin Harlan. The announcer's reaction, Bellino. Please tell me you've seen this. Please tell me you've seen this. It's pure gold. The best announcer on planet Earth, Kevin Harlan, getting the upset call against Virginia. Just gold, man. Furman, Virginia. What a call.
I mean, I absolutely love it. I love the passion. I love the intensity. I love the feeling. Those big game moments that broadcasters can really bring to life, right, through their sound, their inflection, their excitement, and then to be able to see it. I love the fact that we started actually putting cameras on these guys because I think it shows the emotion that goes into it. And Harlan is, I mean, you know how I feel about Kevin Harlan. I mean, he's on the Mount Rushmore for me. I mean, there's nobody that does it better. I mean, throw him a Burger King live read and just see what happens, right? And I think what makes him very special is he's accurate, he's got the voice, and he also has fun with it. So he brings that excitement to life in a very, kind of easy listening, sort of fun mood for it. And I think it's just perfect.
And it's authentic. He has fun with it, and it's authentic. After watching that video, makes me see even more. Just, you peel back the curtain just a little bit, get to peek inside. And what an authenticity that he brings to the game. Like, it's one thing to fake it, and he could be a pro at faking it because he'd still be the GOAT, in my opinion. But then watching that video, oh my God, what a great, and I know we'll link it in the show notes, but what a great reaction. How about Stan Van Gundy? Just watch him the entire length of that video. He can't believe it. He doesn't know what to do. He is shocked at what he was seeing, and Harlan paints the perfect picture with the audio, but Stan Van Gundy is shocked, man. I was laughing out loud as I was watching it.
All right, what's the biggest one then? Is it Furman over Virginia? Is it Princeton over Arizona? Or is it Fairleigh Dickinson, Hunter's Cousins, over Purdue?
Well, you can make an argument for all three. I think the shock value of the Furman versus Virginia, I mean, that game was over. I mean, put a fork in it, right? I mean, it was done. It was well done. It was extra crispy on the outside, no pink in the middle. Nothing. I mean, that thing was well done. And then just out of nowhere, he loses his mind. Kihei Clark, who had one of the best passes in NCAA tournament history, the highest of highs a few years ago, and then the lowest of lows as a senior versus a freshman. But, the Fairleigh Dickinson game, I'm glad you brought it up, with Purdue, like, my man, they are diamond trapping. You did this in CYO. It's when you just go all out. Fairleigh Dickinson did it all game. The only time Purdue sees a diamond trap in the Big Ten, and that's where you put a man on the ball and trap in the corners in the first pass in the full court. The only time you see that in the Big Ten is when a team has to foul, and they have to get a steal, and they do a good job of breaking it. But here you got a team like Fairleigh Dickinson who did it the entire game, and what you get when you break a diamond press because you commit 2 to the first pass is you get a 2v1 on the backside if you hit the middle, and you should have a lob, especially if you have a 7'5" guy. You should have a lob at the rim on a 2v1 that nobody can stop. But instead, you get Zach Edey, who after they break it, you got Brendan Gillis in the middle. And Zach Edey is posting up in the middle of the floor. Brendan Gillis has nowhere to go, so he has to dribble out. And then 1, he turned it over. 2, they didn't get a good possession. You got the assistant coach holding the whiteboard. Please run this play, even though if there was a play that I had in my playbook that I could draw up a 2-on-1 in the open court, I'd run that play every time. And just the unwillingness to adapt was just baffling, Bellino, just baffling by the best team in the Big Ten in Purdue, and not even it's not even arguable. They set themselves apart. They were the best team in the Big Ten, and I just could not understand the stubbornness of that allowed Fairleigh Dickinson to win that game. And credit Fairleigh Dickinson, they played really well, right? But we can't sit here and argue, wow, they just lost to the better team that night. Purdue did, like Fairleigh Dickinson took that game. No, Purdue stunk that game. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. They stunk, and I could not believe. I was baffled by their not just getting, when the team presses you, not just getting wide open dunks, layups, and wide open threes. Not that they would hit the wide open three anyway, because we saw that all game, right? And then what was the third? I got going on the rant, man. Now I'm excited.
Princeton, Arizona.
Oh, equally as shocking, because you have a team of Princeton, and they don't even run the Princeton offense like most of y'all. They carved them up with back doors. No, they didn't. They beat them. They beat them in 40 minutes of face-to-face basketball. We'll just make more shots than you. And Arizona is a team that I've watched twice all year, because they're on the West Coast. I don't watch a ton of games, but I watched twice. And that big fella in the middle completely obliterated Trace Jackson Davis. And I'm like, this is like Shaq. We have a Shaq playing in the NCAA, and nobody knows about him because on the East Coast, because he's playing on the West Coast at 10 p.m. every game. So I saw him obliterate Indiana, and I'm like, this Arizona team's for real. They were returning some of their best players. They got this big fella in the middle. And then you see a Princeton, they got no answer for that guy. Then you see Princeton win, and then you see Princeton spank Missouri in the next round. I mean, what a great weekend of hoop. It's the best weekend in the world for entertainment value. I don't care what you say. You know, you got the Masters coming up, but it still trumps that. The Thursday, Friday. And I don't know, Bellino, let me ask you this. Is it a mixture of, can you get off work, or are you playing hooky from work, and does that lead to some of the excitement at 12:10 when that first game kicks off on Thursday? Like, does that contribute to it? Because I think it is the greatest weekend of sports.
Yeah, I think when you think about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's pretty hard to beat. And the fact that it starts on Tuesday and Wednesday with a little apertoire, that's French for the food that comes out before your meal, the appetizer, right, with the first four. It's tough to beat, because it's games all day. It's all day long. It is an absolute marathon of action. I think that, it draws a lot of people to the screens. They have their brackets and everything else that they filled out, and they're trying to figure out, they're picking teams, and could this be chalk, all the way through? And that's what always happens. People want to do that. And then you look at it and it's like, there was nobody left after day two, and there wasn't anybody left on CBS or ESPN.com that had a perfect bracket. And that's pretty telling. I wonder this about Purdue, and I tweeted this, and this wasn't like based upon Michigan. This is if I'm Purdue and I have this crazy good season, right? And then I go ahead and I win the Big Ten tournament. So I've got a multi-banner year going up, and I get bounced in the first round. I don't know, man. I don't even know if I'd want to be in the tournament. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'd want my team to have a year like that and to get knocked out in the first round. Like, just give me a mediocre year. Maybe we miss the tournament, or we slide in at like a 12 or 13 seed and we don't really belong, and it just kind of is what it is. Or we limp in like Iowa, you know what I mean? Or Illinois, and just get bounced. It's different. I don't know, man. I don't, that was such a bad loss. I felt terrible for Matt Painter.
Oh, me too. One of the best guys, and I know you've seen him on the sideline in action, and he's funny, man. He has a sense of humor. He doesn't take himself too seriously. It's, a guy that we all love in the coaching profession, and we love to root for. But Bellino, let me hit you with this. When you're sitting at the podium after a loss to end your season, and you're reminding people of all the accomplishments you had all season, why it's a good season, that means you had a heck of a disappointment. That means you had a heck of a disappointment. And we've seen that throughout the whole country. We see that, when you sit here and talk about win streaks or, things like that during the regular season, that means you had a heck of disappointment at the end of the season. So, I did feel for him, and, it hurts, and it's just helpless. And I think I've been on that sideline before where you just can't, there's nothing you can do. You're sitting there helpless. You're the better team, and you're just getting beat like a drum, and you have no idea why. Oh, man, I do feel for him, because he is a very likable person.
Hey, he is, and I'm glad you said that he's well liked in the coaching profession, because at some point, like, it does it does matter, right? You're how you treat other people in to have interactions. And I don't even have interactions with him. I don't even do it. Tricia Cullip told me, tell Coach Painter I said hi. I couldn't even do it. I mean, I waited for him to come off the floor. I was like, I can't say anything to this guy. Like, I can't. Now's not the time nor the place. He'll never get that message. I feel terrible about it. But you do as a person, as a media member, you tend to have a softer spot for somebody who you just want to see be successful.
Yeah, no doubt. And, it's funny you mentioned two of the best people, that I've gotten to know. And I don't know Coach Painter like I do Coach Cullip, but what a year her crew had. And she didn't have to sit at the podium and remind you after a heartbreaking loss. They did it for themselves, right? They won a tournament game, and couldn't be happier for her. And she's the absolute best, man. She does it the right way, as you'd say, and treats people well. And yeah, it's just so it's so heartbreaking this time of year. But with every heartbreaking story, there's another side to it where it's like, this is the most unbelievable ride of your life, Fairleigh Dickinson, Furman, Princeton. Like, we've been on that sideline, and it is just one of the best feelings, and it's indescribable how much it means to not only your kids and the coaches, but also the fans and the community, the administration. It's just life altering is what it is. So, there's two sides of it. I think that's why we love March, man.
No doubt. I got to get to this one too because it's pretty incredible. 15 sweets. This is why the most fair and honest show in the country. This is it right here. We gotta spread some love across the Red Cedar. 15 Sweet 16s. He has more. He's got, what is it? Oh damn it! Now I messed up the stat. There are only 17 programs in the country that have more Sweet 16 appearances than Tom Izzo. There are only 2 programs in the Big Ten that have more Sweet 16 appearances than Tom Izzo. Izzo's got 15, Michigan's got 17, and 22 from Indiana. We're talking about one guy. Not one. We're talking about one guy.
You're talking about a coach versus a program, just so everybody understands that. He's not saying John Beilein or Juwan Howard at Michigan had 17. He's saying Michigan, the entire history of its existence, had 17. That it is unbelievable, man. And I went to University of Michigan, as we know, and you let off with the show, but I was rooting like crazy for Michigan State in that game. And it's like, Izzo's one of the guys. He has cemented himself as one of the best coaches of all time. If you could have any coach coaching your team when that calendar turns, and I know all the corny January, February is, it gets a little corny, but golly, man, if you could have any coach coaching your team, I'm going probably Bill Self, right? Even though he's had a lot of tournament disappointments himself for the best teams he's had, I'm going Tom Izzo. I'm going Rick Pitino, man, and that's just scratching my head. That's the top 3 I can think of based on. He can do it. Tom Izzo and Rick Pitino, more specifically, can do it with any team. They've done it with blue chips. They've done it with guys like, this team is not that good for Michigan State. They are not that good. Spoiler alert. They are not that good. But you know what? They made every single game-winning play when it mattered down the stretch, and it really went to the surface. And you look at Rick Pitino. He's done a mid-major. He's done a high major. He's done a back mid-major. He's done it with COVID. He's done it with recruiting sanctions, whatever. But he gets his guys to play, and they're playing well by the end of the year. But it's those two, man. I really do. So you got to give them their flowers, right, as the kids would say.
Yeah, and a lot of flowers. And I was very interested going into this tournament because it's like, look, what if Michigan State doesn't make it out of the first weekend again? What if they were to lose to USC? Our tone today, it wouldn't take away from the greatness that is Tom Izzo. But at the same time, look, making it's one thing, but you got to win some games because it had been a while. And then all of a sudden he's like, well, just put that to rest. Don't even worry about it. It's not even a talking point this week. All right, so who's the leader in the clubhouse? Is it Alabama, a 1 seed that's still alive? Is it a 1 seed in Houston? They both have 1-5 matchups. Houston gets Miami. Alabama gets San Diego State. Is it a Texas or a Xavier? Could it be maybe UConn playing some really good basketball? UCLA's down there, huh? Who do you think? Tennessee? Is it the Volunteers?
Matchups aside, I do think it's Alabama. I mean, those guys are good, man. And our former point guard is there, leading, not leading the way, but he's a heck of a player for him, starting and playing a lot of minutes for him. But Javon Quinterly and Brandon Miller, holy cow, man. Like, those guys are good. And Alabama, and then they got a guy in the middle with Bediako. Like, that team is good. So matchups aside, I'm saying Alabama by far. And I do think they're the favorite. They should be. They're they are, in my opinion, right now the best team left. But then you look at some other teams, and there's a team like UConn who I just mentioned. Rick Pitino had high praise after the game. Like, he said, hey, to Bobby or Dan Hurley, right? That's Danny there, Dan?
Yep.
I think, yeah, and Bobby's at Arizona State. He said, go win this thing. You got the team to do it. Rick Pitino does not strike me as the kind of guy to blow smoke either. And I don't know if he does to you, but he doesn't strike me as that guy.
It's for a coaching job. Then he'll blow clouds. I'm talking like EPA level clouds.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. You're talking mushroom clouds. He would blow that.
We're looking like Snoop Dogg getting out of a 67 Chevrolet. The guy came out with this up in smoke.
But when he has no dog in the fight, like after that game, like I'm believing Ricky P on that one, man. Because if he thinks UConn can win it all, I think UConn can win it all. It reminds me of watching the World Series of Poker when the commentators, which was my favorite things in the summer, they'd say, if a poker player says the sun sets in the west, I believe it sets in the east. Well, it's the opposite of Ricky P. If Ricky P says it when he's got no dog in the fight, to your point, he's got no smoke to blow, then I'm believing it.
He is the coach, Kyle Barlow. We're blowing a lot of smoke here on this program. Oh, man, March Madness. I can't wait. Hey, next week's going to be great, too, because we get to recap all the games that are going to be taking place this week. One last one. I hit the applause button. The studio audience is getting ruly. Pipe down back there. I got one more for him. Jeez, you people relax over there, would you? What game are you most looking forward to this week?
Ooh. Oh, man. I think it's got to be San Diego State, Alabama, because San Diego State was the trendy 12-5 upset. And I sat on this radio show and I told you, along with St. Mary's, I said just that people don't stay up and watch those games on the West Coast. I've seen them play full games. Those teams are good, and I still believe that. I still believe that St. Mary's. I thought they lost a good game. Got outplayed, whatever. But I really believe that about San Diego State. That is a dang good basketball team, man, and I think they got to show it in front of the world. So Alabama, San Diego State. If Alabama wins that game, I'm feeling really good about them the rest of the tournament.
All right, now the people can come back. There they go. Now they're ready. Now they're ready. They were. And now they're all out in full force. He is the coach, Kyle Barlow. Find him on Twitter at Kyle Barlow4. Coach, as always, my friend, thank you so much for your time, my man. We greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
That audience, man. Sometimes they just get get unruly, right? Rick Pitino, by the way, going to take that job. Here's one for Ryan. Called that early on. Huh? Got to be feeling pretty good about that. Pretty confident.
That was 2.5 weeks ago, probably.
Money. Where'd you come up with that, by the way?
I was just seeing it online. It was looking like, I think it was right after the tournament draw. Like, yeah, watch out for Rick Pitino and St. John's. Just saw some tweets and I was like, that makes a lot of sense. And like that white suit's gonna come back out in New York.
Oh, man, Pitino. Yeah, it's the only time he's ever blowing smoke is when he's up for coaching jobs. We'll be back. Hour number 3 is next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go on the court with Tim Stout.
It's a new day to celebrate and be free. It's a new day full of action and excitement because it's a day for winning. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, it's a new day. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com. We're down to one team remaining in the NCAA basketball tournament from the Big Ten, the Michigan State Spartans, and they've been there before. In the Sweet 16, it could be tough matchups coming up against Kansas State for certain on TBS at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, and more than likely, if the Spartans win again, the Elite Eight game would be Saturday against Tennessee, assuming Tennessee can beat Florida Atlantic. Michigan State has played hard-nosed defense led by its guards, and they say guard play is so dominant and must be that way in the NCAA tournament for a team to succeed. The Spartans have won by 10 points and 9 points in the first 2 games. They're a 2-point underdog to Kansas State in Madison Square Garden on the big stage in New York City, but 16 are left.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! Go! No, first base!
Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Bar plays important. MSU.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Get nothing but nets and win up to $15,000 cash. It's the $100,000 Hoop to Win every Saturday in March, 6 to 11 p.m. Shoot to win each week. And on March 25th, players compete for up to $15,000. The $100,000 Hoop to Win giveaway. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean Carter. Now, they've made that move to partner with Dorn Mayhew, an Eastside firm, and now they're stronger than ever before. Big businesses, small businesses, taxes, any business need you have. You can turn to Tom Rosenbach and his team. Just go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. Tom and his team also put up the $1,000 in cash in our Bracket Buster Challenge contest at thehugeshow.net. So if you entered the contest, you can follow your picks all the way through the championship game each and every day at thehugeshow.net. Just log in, you'll see it. It's simple and easy, and follow your picks if you took a shot at winning that $1,000 in the Bean Carter Bracket Buster Challenge. Follow your picks through the championship game at thehugeshow.net. That's thehugeshow.net.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the car.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker.
Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Smarty.
Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up.
Yes. Caught. Touchdown to Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here. A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back. Hour number 3 of X's and Bros coming at you live all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio and worldwide on the iHeartRadio app and streaming on our YouTube page at MichiganSportsNetwork.com to find our website. That's Danny and Ryan. I'm Anthony. So great to be with you once again on a Tuesday. Wired, fired, and inspired. Excited for the World Baseball Classic finale tonight. If you saw what took place last night with the Japanese winning their game against Mexico, imagine how electric that was. We played the highlight clip for you. What was that, hour number 1? Imagine how electric that would be on the Tokyo Broadcasting System. I love the international calls.
Yeah, other languages are way cooler than English.
Oh, man. Way more difficult. Japanese,
Wow.
very, very challenging.
More difficult for us to learn. Like,
Well, yeah, they use characters. They don't use the alphabet.
well, that's a good point.
But then again, we don't conjugate, which is strange. Everybody else does.
Yeah, there was a video circulating Instagram or TikTok about like how English would sound if we did that, and it just will blow your mind.
I mean, I got to find that. You got to send that. That is something I would be incredibly interested in. Is being able to see that video, because I'd like to know. But then again, in English, explain to a foreign person the word yacht. We're going to go sailing on a yacht and ask them to explain why that's spelled the way that it is spelled. You can't. It doesn't make any sense. Y-A-C-H-T? Yacht. Yacht. That's what it should be. That's just me. Also, I don't know if you guys saw this. The NCAA, when in all of their high and mightiness, along with the NIT, they have host sites for the women's tournament, and then the NIT is host sites until you get to the Final Four, which I believe is Brooklyn this year, and then the NIT is going to. Is it in New York or Vegas? I don't know, but then it's going to move to Butler. It's going to go to Hinkle Fieldhouse, and that's what they should do. Take the NIT to some of these old historic gyms and play it there, right? That's a little bit more fun. Well, the NCAA and the NIT, even though they have host sites, they want everybody to remain neutral. That's why I had to do the NIT game for Michigan-Toledo the way that I did it, despite being yelled at by everybody and their mother about why aren't you doing this, why aren't you doing that? Because it's their rule. So the NCAA banned Enter Sandman from being played at tip-off for the Hokies because Virginia Tech was hosting. So the student section actually sang the song during the tip-off, which I think is just brilliant. Great on them, the fact that they knew the words. Fabulous. Good for them. USDA Scott is on hold. USDA Scott, what is going on this morning? Good Tuesday morning to you, my friend.
Hey, bud. Hey, just, a little background on, NCAA tournament. Right now, with ACC, Big Ten, and Big 12, arguably every year before the season, the three best, or rated the three best conferences, have been for years and years and years. Out of 21 teams that they put into the tournament this year, 5 are left. And I don't think that's ever happened. I'd have to find out, but I don't think there's ever been only 5 out of those 3 conferences combined in the Sweet 16. Somebody would have to check that out, but it's just the parity and the I don't think it's the NIL, but I do think it's the transfer portal that changes all of this.
Yes, I would agree with that.
The
portal absolutely changes the dynamic.
The number 4 through 6 players on just about every team, it's not usually the top 3 or 4 guys. The top 3 or 4 guys, they're either staying or, they're heading to the NBA, from major programs. But the ones 4 through 6 think they're, where can I go? Can I go to an Ohio, or can I go to a Kent State, or can I go to even a smaller or not as renowned big school and be the star?
Well, Scott, I brought this up with Michigan because I was keeping track of what was going on in some very interesting, because Isaiah Barnes has just entered the transfer portal. He wasn't getting any PT, but you're right. Anybody who's not 1 through 4 on the team or in the starting 5 or 6-man getting minutes, you got to re-recruit those guys to your squad. Look at a guy like, and a guy I liked a lot, Frankie Collins. I talked about Big Frank all the time last year. And because Michigan was dipping their toes back into the portal to get Jalen Llewellyn out of Princeton going to the tournament. Jalen Llewellyn was coming over as a grad transfer. They had Doug McDaniel coming in as a freshman. Frankie was like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm going to go play somewhere else. Arizona State made the tournament. Zeb Jackson, Brandon Johns Jr. Those are 2 guys that Michigan could have used this year, right? And both of those guys, where did they go? VCU. Where did VCU go? To the tournament. Now, albeit they lost in the first round by 12 to St. Mary's, but, still, they got there. And it's like it's such a gut punch to watch this happen, but the transfer portal has completely changed the dynamic of college basketball. We'll see it in football.
Yeah,
it'll happen.
Think about Sparty with Julius Marble and I'm forgetting the guard's name. I don't think the guard wasn't right for our program, but Julius sure was, and his presence underneath right now. I think people will be picking them to go even farther.
Well, and I said this yesterday, coming out of the weekend's games. Well, let's shine the light back over to Mady Sissoko, who earlier in the season, Ryan was over there he was giggling, right? The first couple of weeks of the season, the guy was putting 14 and 10, and then he kind of pilfered off a little bit. And I was just happy to see him be able to have really impactful, good minutes. They did some pick and roll things. They had some putback dunks that, just easy concepts that he just hasn't had, whether it's been the opportunity or it just hasn't, they haven't executed it very well. In the first 2 games of this tournament, him and hanging with Mr. Cooper, those 2, they were sensational.
If he continues to not get in foul trouble and he puts up 8 and 8,
8, we're not asking for a lot. 8 and 8.
Hey, 8 and 8 from him, and then Carson gets maybe 4 and 4. That's your center, and look out if they can do that.
No doubt about it. They got a sneaky good shot here. I don't know. It's going to be tough. I'm going to go with the Izzo kids coming up in a couple of days here on Thursday, 6:30 tip-off again on TBS. We'll talk more about this game leading into it, but I'm going with it. They could make the Final Four.
Watching Billis the last couple of days about his rants on the Big Ten. ACC's got one out of what, 6 left. The Big 12, who had 7 teams ranked in the top 25 at the end of the year, they got 3 teams left out of 8 from the tournament. You know, this is not your old tournament anymore. You know, the Dukes, the North Carolinas, the Kentuckys, the Kansases. Oh, by the way, none of those 4 are left.
None are left. That's USDA. Scott, appreciate the call. We're going to hit the break. We'll be right back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street, you're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Get nothing but nets and win up to $15,000 cash. It's the $100,000 Hoop to Win every Saturday in March, 6 to 11 p.m. Shoot to win each week. Then on March 25th, players compete for up to $15,000. The $100,000 Hoop to Win giveaway. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Spring is here, and that means only one thing for us Tigers fans. Baseball season is upon us, and opening day is just a few weeks away. Hi, this is Matt Shepard, here to tell you about an amazing offer from my friends at Soaring Eagle Casino. Soaring Eagle Casino, in conjunction with the Michigan Sports Network, is going to send one lucky winner and a guest to Tigers opening day. And if that's not enough, Eagle Sports and Casino is going to double down for you. How about 2 opening days? That's right, opening day home and away. You'll see the Tigers open the season against the Rays in sunny, warm Tampa, Florida, and then you'll be there for the Tigers home opener in Detroit 1 week later. Plus, you'll be hosted by my friend Bill Simonson of The Huge Show, and you'll get to meet and greet yours truly. All you need to do is enter and text the word Tigers to 21000. Enter the word Tigers and text the number 21000, and you could be on your way to see the Tigers play in both the season and home openers. Opening day, home and away, presented by my friends at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Go get them. Play ball.
Coming out of the break just now, all I heard was Dan say his chin is different day to day. Just saw this.
Vladdy's got all kinds of body doubles.
Well, I just saw this pop up on the Twitter feed. Is Vladimir Putin using a body double? Ukrainian officials believe so.
I'll show you I'll send you the pictures.
I'm looking at some right now. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Different chins. Wow. Interesting. Wonder what they're up to over there. Hey, I saw this too, by the way. I was just scrolling through the Sweet 16 a little bit, trying to decipher, who was where and who was represented, because we got off the phone with Kyle Barlow, the coach down there from Ohio University, and my buddy. And it is it's interesting to see that all throughout the season, there's always these debates over what conference is the best. And right now in the Sweet 16, here's a breakdown of who is where. In the SEC, you have Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas all still left. Arkansas is probably, I would say, maybe the bigger head scratcher, upsetting number one Kansas, get in the tournament, anything can happen. So, okay. Then you have the Big East with Creighton, X, and UConn. That's a pretty solid run there from the Big East, right? You have UConn, who is a 4 seed, and UConn with victories over Iona and St. Mary's to get to where they're at. You have Creighton, who was a 6 seed. Creighton had beat NC State and then upset number 3 Baylor. Beat them pretty good. And Xavier, a 3 seed, just kind of handling business. Kennesaw State, Pittsburgh. Okay, all right, nothing crazy there. In the Big 12, you have Michigan State's opponent, which is Kansas State. They beat 14-seeded Montana State because they're a 3 seed. And then they beat 6-seeded Kentucky. And it's like, okay, it's kind of handling business there. Nothing crazy. Texas is a 2 seed. They beat Colgate, and then they beat Penn State. 10-seeded Penn State game, a little bit of a game. Texas wins by 5. The Big 10, you have one team remaining. 7-seeded Michigan State, who beat 10-seed USC by 10, and then handled number 2, 2-seeded Marquette. This defensive, stifling sort of effort there from Michigan State. That's it. Out of the ACC, you only have Miami. As a 5 seed, they beat 12-seeded Drake, then hammered 4-seed Indiana en route to getting a 1 seed in Houston out of the American Athletic Conference. That is just, Northern Kentucky, okay. 9-seeded Auburn, okay. They'll get Miami. The Mountain West, you got one team left, San Diego State. They were a 5 seed. They beat 12-seeded Charleston. And then 13-seeded Furman, after Furman's big upset of Virginia, they'll get number 1 seed Alabama. Out of Conference USA, maybe the biggest surprise out of everybody, FAU, after they upset Memphis in an 8-9 matchup. 9-seeded FAU then got 16-seed Fairleigh Dickinson. Hunter's cousins, 78-70, a winner there. They will get the 4-seed Tennessee. We have to imagine Tennessee's probably going to win that game, but stranger things have happened. But now it's a little bit more challenging because everybody's got a little bit more time to prepare, right? This isn't just win a game, go to bed, or watch film or watch the game of your opponent and then try to break down film. You know what I'm saying? It's just that's a lot of turnover in 36 hours. The Pac-12 only has one team left in UCLA. UCLA being a 2 seed that handled UNC Asheville, beat the doors off of them. And then the number 7 seeded Northwestern gave a little bit of a game. UCLA survives by 5, and they will get a pretty familiar West Coast Conference opponent just up the coastline there with Gonzaga. And to be honest with you, SEC, Big East, Big 12, Big 10, ACC, Mountain West, Ivy League, AAC, Conference USA, Pac-12, West Coast Conference, 11 different conferences represented in the Sweet 16. I think this is a win for college basketball.
100%. Looking back, that's what you want in a tournament, is you want it diverse. You don't want, our Sweet 16, we have 6 ACC teams. It's just a Big 12 tournament for the Elite 8. It's like, that's not great for college basketball, to make it diverse and having your talent spread out. This will have your talent spread out. On your biggest stage, you have different schools showcasing what they can do. And you don't want to spend 4 years in Boca Raton, Florida?
I do.
Yeah. Go to FAU.
Should have.
Some people love Boca.
I should have.
Yeah.
Junior.
Stay in Boca del
Soprano.
Vista.
I'll go right now. Send me. I will go. I think it's good. It does, however, look a little, but I think we knew this going into the tournament. Like the Big Ten, when I don't know, Jerry Paul might have had, his last 4 in were all like Big Ten teams, or 3 out of the 4 were Big Ten teams on whatever broadcast that was going into the tournament. Like you could tell that the Big Ten, that flirted with 2 and 3 teams in the top 25 all season, that was it. Purdue was really carrying the water. And then you get into the tournament. I mean, that's a really, I don't want to condemn a specific conference because I think it's hard in one-game eliminators. It's difficult. But Illinois was outclassed. Indiana got absolutely drilled by Miami. Iowa, Fran, God bless him, but oh.
Well, they had Auburn in an away game.
Yeah, Auburn in Birmingham wasn't exactly a match made in heaven.
And it's Fran McCaffrey. Look at his track record. He's never been to a Sweet 16. He has 4 tournament wins as the head coach of Iowa. You look at the Big Ten and your disappointment, it's, hey, what did our top 3 teams do? Purdue lost to a 16 seed. Indiana, a 4 seed, lost to a 5 seed Miami and just got absolutely worked. And Northwestern won a game and fought with UCLA. Those are your top 3 finishers in the Big Ten. If you want to look at your strength of your conference, it needs to lead from the top. It's like,
amen to that.
The Big 12, everyone talks how great the Big 12 was all season. They have Texas and Kansas State. There's no Kansas. There's no Baylor.
In the SEC, do we need to deal with this now in basketball too? They already own football. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. Like it's an anomaly for a team outside of that conference to win a national championship in football. Their dominance, and you look at the Sun Belt area, not the conference, but the actual region of the country, the Sun Belt. Where the SEC is located. That's where the talent's coming from. I mean, you want to be good in the Big Ten, you got to get some speed from Florida. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. The amount of athletes that Georgia is pumping out right now.
You need your smart basketball players from Indiana, and then you need your athletes from down south.
It's crazy.
And then your top player in your state that your school resides in.
It's really, and a part of this is population shifts as well, as more and more of the population, shifts to the southern areas of the country, and, understandably so. But at the same time, it's like, look, man, I can't deal with SEC dominance in basketball too. That, like, worst case scenario, Alabama wins the national championship. Worst case scenario. Like, I think, and collectively now we need to band together to support the Aztecs of San Diego State. Or whoever comes out of Creighton Princeton, which I would imagine would be the Blue Jays. Because Alabama making a Final Four, Alabama making it to the Sweet 16 is bad enough. The fact that they were around number 1 in the country for most of the year, that's bad enough as it is. But if they go on to win a national championship, all those people would be insufferable. Insufferable. We don't need that. And the fact that they got 3 teams right now.
And if Vanderbilt wins the NIT, they just get 2 of the 3 tournaments.
And they're going to win in baseball. Like that conference, oh man, they got a stranglehold on the rest of college basketball. More college hoops on the other side. I've got it's something, it's something we've talked about, something that's interesting that plays out every once in a while. We'll talk about it next year. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! Go! No, first base! Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street, you're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean Carter. Now, they've made that move to partner with Dorn Mayhew, an Eastside firm, and now they're stronger than ever before. Big businesses, small businesses, taxes, any business need you have, you can turn to Tom Rosenbach and his team. Just go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. Tom and his team also put up the $1,000 in cash in our Bracket Buster Challenge contest at thehugeshow.net. So if you entered the contest, you can follow your picks all the way through the championship game each and every day at thehugeshow.net. Just log in, you'll see it. It's simple and easy, and follow your picks if you took a shot at winning that $1,000 in the Bean Carter Bracket Buster Challenge. Follow your picks through the championship game at thehugeshow.net. That's thehugeshow.net.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle. Get nothing but nets and win up to $15,000 cash. It's the $100,000 Hoop to Win every Saturday in March, 6 to 11 p.m. Shoot to win each week. Then on March 25th, players compete for up to $15,000. The $100,000 Hoop to Win giveaway. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
This is X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you right along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you, thank you, appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you join the program at any time. You can text the keyword sports radio, send that to 21,000, sports radio to 21000. Myers Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176. 248-951-2176. You can tweet at us at XB Mornings, Facebook us, X's and Bros. And, of course, you can always hit us up on Twitter at XB Mornings. I want to get into this just because a lot of people have asked me if they believe that Hunter Dickinson, like, you think Hunter's coming back? Do you think Hunter's coming back? I do believe that Hunter Dickinson will come back. I haven't talked to anybody about it. I haven't heard anything about it. I just get asked by people on the regular. Guy came in the store yesterday. He said, "What do you think happens with Dickinson?" I said, "I think he comes back." He's like, "You don't think he goes pro?" And my response was, "Go pro to where?" He's like, "Well, to the NBA." And I said, who's NBA? And he looked at me like I had 5 eyeballs. Are you talking about a professional American basketball here? Like the National Basketball Association? He said, "Yeah." I said, "Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so." One lady came in and she was talking to me about Zach Edey from Purdue. And she's like, "Oh, he is just gonna be awesome at the NBA level." No, he's not. He's not going to be. Drew Timmy's another one. Drew Timmy, God bless him. And this happens, right? And we talked we've talked about Luka Garza here on the program. He, selected, picked up by the Pistons and do a little two-way action, and now he's in Minnesota doing a two-way contract there, G League to NBA. Sometimes, and it happens, folks. Sometimes great collegiate players, their games just do not translate to the NBA. Sometimes you can watch a college basketball game and realize that, yes, although it is the same sport, it is a completely different game. If you've watched any of the NCAA tournament, any of it whatsoever, you could see the drastic difference between college and professional. Now, some people say they prefer the college game more than the pro game. A lot of that, I think, has to do with the pageantry, the allegiance that is there. The fact that there less games makes it feel like there's more on the line any given night, making the NCAA tournament such a big accomplishment. The way that things are structured, they're just different. They're different leagues, and that's totally fine. But just because you're a great college basketball player doesn't by any stretch of the imagination mean that you're going to be a great professional player. There are 3 guys right now on NBA Draft Prospectus, according to ESPN.com. 3 of the top 5 players aren't even playing college basketball from the USA. 4 of the top 5 aren't playing college basketball because one of them's an international in Victor Wembanyama. The only guy in there is Brandon Miller from Alabama at number 3. According to ESPN.com and their top prospect list, Zach Edey is the 52nd ranked prospect for the upcoming NBA draft. Now, I don't know if you need a refresher, but there's only 60 picks. That's it. If you are a top 3 to top 5 selection, you are in the upper echelon, the top tier, if you will, of what your expectation and your projected trajectory would be. If you are a lottery pick, which means the ping pong balls that are floating around, selections 1 through 14, if you're a lottery pick, you are expected to be an impact player, immediately. If you go outside the first round, you're basically a fringe NBA guy. And you are, because you were drafted, you'll have more opportunities than the G League guy. And that's about it. But you're right there. You are right there on the cusp of I'm going to play NBA basketball and I'm going to see some time, or I'm going to be that 12th man at the end of the bench that is, one bad day away from a two-way deal. And, I got to watch Xavier Simpson the other night, the former Michigan guard, hit a game-winning buzzer beater, right? They had a great crowd up there in Toronto with the 905 Raptors, the G League affiliate. And it was pretty cool, man. It's fun to see. And, being able to, connect with him on, during the football season, he came back and was roaming the sidelines a little bit. And, it's fun to see him, and you hope for their continued success. But the NBA is a completely different game. Completely different game. Oscar Tshiebwe, Player of the Year last year. 75th ranked prospect. So Zach Edey, Oscar Tshiebwe, and Drew Timme, three of the big names in college. 52, 75, and 86th. 86th. You've got to start looking at international options here. Like, that's just the way that it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you go through the top 100, I think Imani Bates is somewhere in the 60s. Like, you're not going. Like, what? One of the guys I was very high on for one of the first times I got to see him play, especially, it's one thing to watch him play on television. It's completely different to watch him play in person. And I was kind of sold on him watching Indiana, and then I watched him play in person. I'm like, oh, yeah, this kid's got it. Like, see you later. Bye. One and done. Jalen Hood-Schifino. Checking it out this morning, Jalen Hood-Schifino's the 14th ranked prospect overall for the upcoming NBA draft. 14 overall. They have Jet Howard at 16, Kobe Buffkin at 23. That's very concerning. Very concerning. Now, Jet, as I've said, Jet can go. That's fine. Losing Kobe Buffkin would be brutal. But to swing it back to Hunter Dickinson, people are like, oh, the NIL is keeping him there. Keeping him there, or, where else would he go? And it's not to be disrespectful or crazy, but the NBA game, for guys like, Zach Edey and Hunter Dickinson, foot speed is at a premium. And the guys that are referred to as, drop bigs. So when the pick and roll is set up top, because, every team's basically running off of a ball screen. That's what, every once in a while you'll get a little ISO clear out if you got a guy that can, get the ball wherever he wants. Guys like Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, guys that can just put the ball on a string, get to their spot wherever that might be. Could be anywhere on the floor, and they can shoot it. Like Damian Lillard, sometimes you want to set a screen for him. Other times you just want to get the hell out of the way. Get out of the way and let that man go one-on-one and then get open right after he drives the lane, or, get back in transition. But there is the foot speed, the guy who's coming up to be able, the big man, to hedge that screen. You got to be able to do it, and you got to be able to cover. Because if you're just, your man's going up there to set the screen and you're dropping into the paint, you're going to get cooked. And foot speed is a massive, massive issue. Let's get to Danny and Brighton, who's on hold right now. Danny, good morning to you, my friend. How are you, partner?
Anthony, my friend, I'm amazing as always. How are you?
Oh, great. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Woo! So I will tell you, I am, no surprise, I prefer the college game over the pro game. Although I understand the players in the NBA are wildly superior in general to the players in college, without question. I just like the game itself in college better. The way that I would phrase it is, college is a coach's game. The NBA is a player's game.
Okay, I can get down with that.
I would never use the term "run your stuff" when watching an NBA game. Never, because I'm going to say, give the ball to Embiid, give the ball to Steph, give the ball to Jason Tatum, give the ball to Giannis, and they'll make something happen. But when you watch college, and we talked about this with our beloved Michigan, when they don't run their stuff, when they stand around and not necessarily emulate an NBA game, but you get the idea, they're less effective. But when they run their stuff and they play as a cohesive five, it's a different story. That's my thing.
No, I like that a lot. I would definitely Definitely agree with that. If we look back to what took place here, in the NCAA tournament for the first weekend, right? The first two rounds of games. I mean, we saw Houston, Northern Kentucky was 63-52. Miami and Drake was 63-56. Pitt, Iowa State was 59-41. 41 points in a 40-minute game. Are you out of your mind? I expect UCLA to pound UNC Asheville 86-53. I can get down with that. But Northwestern 68-63. Michigan State holding USC to 62 and then Marquette to 60.
Exactly.
Kentucky winning 61-53.
It's a coach's game because they're able to use their style of play to dictate tempo. That I don't know that ever happens in the NBA. I mean, I remember way back when with the Bad Boys, and that was Chuck Daly's thing. He's like, we are going to dictate tempo with our defense, and we're going to change how everybody else plays because we're playing this way. And I just don't know that exists anymore. And that's probably why you have guys like Edie and Timmy and Oscar Tshiebwe and Hunter Dickinson that aren't necessarily regarded as phenomenal pro prospects because not necessarily that they're system guys, but they're more of like play within the team framework, and then when their opportunities are there, they take advantage of them.
And foot speed. In foot speed. Like, think about it. So we get to watch Jalen Duren for the Detroit Pistons. It took all of the opening possession, I think, of the spring, the summer league this year for the Pistons. I think Jaden Ivey threw a lob up to Jalen Duren. It's like, that's it. Like, there's our guy. We haven't had an athletic big in Detroit in God knows how long. You need somebody that is 7 feet tall that can get off the ground. Like, you need guys that have superior athletic ability. Like adding Marvin Bagley last year, one lob from Cade Cunningham, and it was like, yeah, thank you. And I'm not saying everything's got to be NBA jams, this run up and down, Harlem Globetrotters, run and shoot offense where you're just, dribbling in transition, throwing lobs off the backboard. But you got to have athleticism. And there is a superior athlete at the NBA level to where, because it is such a one-on-one game and a game of players, as you reference, and it's a much faster game. The pace, there's more possessions. It's an 8-minute longer game, but with the shot clock decreased, the ball is always going to be, constantly going up and down the floor. You're never going to see NBA teams win 67-65. They're just going to outscore you. Like, they are the superior players. But sometimes I think that they can make the college game actually a little bit more enjoyable because the college game is more relatable to what we played growing up. It's more related to what you played in junior high and what you played in high school, where you ran, a very, very tight, very specific offense. Maybe your coach, maybe you ran a continuous, let's just say motion was your go-to, for example. Maybe you saw a lot of 2-3 zone in high school, so you ran your zone offense nonstop. But you had to run that offense, and you had to get 4, 5, 8 passes in a possession to get a decent look. Whereas the NBA, you just got the ball over the half court. I got one of the best ball handlers in the world. Let him go.
Yeah, and you're going to get a look. And, that's interesting because you'll notice, and I'm sure you noticed this over the weekend, possessions in college are so much more valuable than they are in the pros because you have so many left. So when, somebody from Florida Atlantic or FU or whomever hits a three, it's a big deal, and people are going crazy. When Stafford Clay hits a three, that's a three. It's just different. Not that it's better or worse, but it's just different. But that's why I embrace the college game, because each possession in that 40-minute game is valuable. And when you don't do well, when you turn it over, when you do something stupid, when you pretend that you're Michigan for the last minute and a half of a game, it has so much more impact than it does in the NBA. And one other thing about, the college game is the NIL as a college fan is my best friend, because you'll take those borderline guys like, Timmy and Tshiebwe this year, Hunter this year, possibly Hunter next year, and say, why wouldn't you stay in college? You're going to make money. You're going to have a really good time. You're going to be with your peers. You can grow up, you can mature, and you can actually play significant minutes in a big game on a big stage.
And, you know, that's the other thing, Danny, when I was being asked about what was going on with the transfer situation, the young man at Eastern Michigan, you know, for me, it's like, you know, going to Memphis, okay, all right. You know, they were in the tournament. It's Memphis. They have some tradition there. But don't you want to play on national television like every single night? Like, don't you want to play in big games with crazy atmospheres? So you leave Memphis and you go to Eastern Michigan. When you think about the opportunity that was there to go to Michigan State and to accept that offer and, you know, to be verbally committed to play in East Lansing under Tom Izzo, like I look at that and I'm like, how in the world did you say no to that? How did you say no to playing in front of the Izzone and playing meaningful games, meaningful minutes? I'll never get that. I'll never. I know that there was a big trend in college football, you know, with when Deion was at, you know, Jackson State or whatever about going to HBCUs. That's fine. It's never going to be the atmosphere that Ohio State is. It's never going to be the atmosphere that Michigan is, that Alabama is, that Georgia is. You're never going to have that sort of pressure, but at the same time, that sort of opportunity to play every single week where every game matters. And I look at
for that coach too. And
right.
That's one thing about Amani Bates is, you know, that kind of, you know, I don't know the guy from anybody, but that says a lot about his character that you have a guy like Tom Izzo and who is proven, and again, Michigan fan here, but Tom Izzo takes his players and they're better when they leave. They're always better when they leave.
Yeah.
They're ready for big moments, and he gets them ready, and he's hard on them, but that's the kind of kid he recruits, knowing they can take whatever he's going to dish out, because like A.J. Hoggard, he knows he is all over A.J.'s ass all the time, but he knows he can take it because he knows he's going to be better because he takes it, and they both know that. And apparently Amani, for whatever reason, decided that I'm going to go and hang with Penny, and whatever inducements Memphis may have offered, and nothing, and look how it worked out for him.
Yeah, it's not like Penny and, you know, Memphis aren't. I mean, hell, they at least made the tournament this year. It's amazing. Maybe a little addition by subtraction, right? If you're the Memphis Tigers, like maybe I know you got beat by FAU. It is what it is, but I mean, at least you got in. And it goes back to the possessions real quick. Why every possession is important. This goes back to my theory that every point in college is like a point and a half. So Mady Sissoko, instead of having 8 points, in my mind, that's good for like 12. You know, really. I mean, you know, Tyson Walker putting up 23 against Marquette, you really start to think about what that translates to from the college level to the pro level in a 69-60 win. Him having 23 points is basically like him having like 35 in my book, because that's what that would look like at the NBA level, where you have more possessions, more shots, and whatnot. Danny and Bright, man, appreciate the call this morning, brother. Be good.
Anthony, always a pleasure, man. You guys have a great day.
All right, I still got to go get pizza with Danny and Bright. By the way,
we're going
Frank,
possibly Thursday. If anybody wants to meet up
for lunch.
Yep.
About what time?
Normally about 1 o'clock.
Dang. 1 o'clock?
We can do it earlier or later if you need to. Probably, potentially.
Yeah, let me see, because if I go up there, I'm gonna want to get a couple of pies for the crew over there. Danny's Fine Foods. Hey, for Danny and Ryan, I'm Anthony. So long. We'll talk to you tomorrow, same time, same place, right here in X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go! Go! No, first base!
Go, run!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Huge here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach and his team from Bean Carter. Now, they've made that move to partner with Dorn Mayhew, an Eastside firm, and now they're stronger than ever before. Big businesses, small businesses, taxes, any business need you have. You can turn to Tom Rosenbach and his team. Just go to BeanGarter.com. That is BeanGarter.com. Tom and his team also put up the $1,000 in cash in our Bracket Buster Challenge contest at thehugeshow.net. So if you entered the contest, you can follow your picks all the way through the championship game each and every day at thehugeshow.net. Just log in, you'll see it. It's simple and easy, and follow your picks if you took a shot at winning that $1,000 in the Bean Carter Bracket Buster Challenge. Follow your picks through the championship game at thehugeshow.net. That's thehugeshow.net.
Spring is here, and that means only one thing for us Tigers fans. Baseball season is upon us, and opening day is just a few weeks away. Hi, this is Matt Shepard, here to tell you about an amazing offer from my friends at Soaring Eagle Casino. Soaring Eagle Casino, in conjunction with the Michigan Sports Network, is going to send one lucky winner and a guest to Tigers opening day. And if that's not enough, Eagle Sports and Casino is going to double down for you. How about 2 opening days? That's right, opening day home and away. You'll see the Tigers open the season against the Rays in sunny, warm Tampa, Florida, and then you'll be there for the Tigers home opener in Detroit 1 week later. Plus, you'll be hosted by my friend Bill Simonson of The Huge Show, and you'll get to meet and greet yours truly. All you need to do is enter and text the word Tigers to 21000. Enter the word Tigers and text the number 21000, and you could be on your way to see the Tigers play in both the season and home openers. Opening day, home and away, presented by my friends at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Go get them. Play ball.